Welcome everyone to Sister Wives with Mary Jane K. Today, I'll be giving my commentary on Sister Wives, Season 19, Episode 18, Money is the Root of All Evil. The episode opens in Parowan with Mary. Mary has got a new puppy, Zona. She's adorable. And Jen and Mary talk. Mary knows there's a lot that really needs to be finalized with Coyote Pass. It's really weighing on her, and she wants Jen's input on this. So Mary is pissed with how everything is going or how it's not going. She doesn't like how she's had to wait so long for a resolution on this. She wants to get it solved. Cody keeps ignoring her. So Mary at this point has been divorced from Cody for well over a year, and nothing has even been discussed with the property and finalizing that. So Mary took the initiative. She sent an email to Cody and Robin and Janelle saying, listen, it's time. We have to have this conversation. We have to finalize things. So Janelle and Mary really want to get things done, and Cody wants to drag his feet. So Janelle says that she and Mary, they really don't know what's going on. They're frustrated. They're completely in the dark. There is no communication. There is nothing from Cody. So Jen is telling Mary that she wouldn't have had to take the steps that she is now with talking to a lawyer if she wasn't being treated like she didn't contribute equally to the land. And of course we know Cody's a shyster. He's being a dick. Mary paid the exact same amount as the other three people who are part owners in different properties on Coyote Pass. And Mary's name is shared with a sister wife and Cody on 1 2-acre parcel, even though she paid an equal fourth, the same amount of money as the rest of the people. So she's being treated like she didn't contribute the same as everyone else. And Cody is trying to sell her on taking this 2-acre piece the last time we saw him. And she was also only a third owner of that 2-acre piece. There are 2 other people on the deed with her, even though she paid the same amount as everyone else to contribute for this land. So Mary asks questions, and when she has questions to ask, she's just completely brushed off and completely ignored by Cody. Cody just tells Mary, I'll let you know when it involves you, when we're ready for that. Of course, because Cody's a dick. He doesn't respect these women, not as the mothers of his children, and certainly not as business partners. And the way Cody's dealing with these women as business partners is really going to bite him in the ass when these lawyers get involved. He's ignoring all of their communications, dragging his feet, and not communicating back. This is a business deal. He owes these women as equal partners, and he's trying to ice them out and handle everything himself and ignore it in the hopes that they will capitulate to what he wants, in my opinion. That's exactly why we're getting to the point where there are lawyers going to be involved. Mary is definitely going to need a lawyer, and I bet now she is finally taking Janelle seriously the way she should have from the start. Mary is very bothered by being ignored. Now, when Christine left, she didn't want to be tied to Cody in any way, shape, or form. She didn't want to deal with Cody at all about anything, especially finances. Who could blame her? Cody's a toxic motherfucker. No one wants to be around him. So Christine took the money from her house and she gave Cody her rights to the land. She was done. She didn't want to deal with Cody anymore, of course, very understandably. So Jen has sent Mary to an attorney, and Mary is now set to go with him. It's just a matter of pulling the trigger. She hates all this. And she tells Jen to remember before she left Flagstaff, the time when Janelle came over to have that conversation with her, to warn her. She told Mary to protect her interests. She told Mary that Mary was entitled to a quarter of it. And Mary told Janelle she didn't think there was any need for protection. Maybe Mary should apologize to Janelle. She not only dismissed her, but she tattled on her like she was a 5-year-old child to Cody and Robin. I thought that was ridiculous. I think she owes Janelle an apology. So Mary says Janelle was very frustrated with her because she was very dismissive of her. She had a wall up. She was protecting herself. Mary says she was listening to Janelle, but she wasn't sharing a lot. Janelle let Mary know at that point that she was getting a lawyer, but Mary didn't think it was necessary. She says she couldn't imagine that Cody could do that to them. She doesn't think Cody could do them dirty like that. But now Mary is seeing the light. She says she doesn't know legal stuff, and she explains that Cody is a bullshitter. He pulls jargon out of his ass. And she can't tell if this is something he just makes up just because it sounds good, or if he's just trying to twist something to make it look better in his favor. Cody is a used car salesman. I've been saying it from the start. Now, Mary says Cody should tell her what he wants to do. If he wants all 14 acres, she's fine with Cody just buying her out. She would love that. Now, Janelle says they haven't heard from Cody for very long periods of time. It makes you wonder what's going on. And it doesn't give you a lot of trust that things will go fairly. And Janelle is worried because she should be. She knows Cody's track record. She knows how controlling Cody is. She knows how manipulative Robin is. She knows what situation she's in, and she can't trust this man who she has known for decades to do the right thing. She knows what she's up against. That's why she got this lawyer, and that's why she's concerned. So Jen tells Mary she really has to protect herself. She has to protect her interests in her heart, and she warns Mary not to mince words since Mary has always been so gentle. She tells Mary it's time to be a cactus. Well, in the past, Mary had no problem being a cactus to her sister wives. She was a cactus and she was incredibly controlling with Janelle when Janelle first joined the family. Mary isn't some gentle lamb. Mary can be a cactus if she wants to. Now, Mary feels like she has wanted to be careful not to ruffle many feathers. She really wants things to be okay in the family. She wanted things to be okay in her relationship. But she makes it clear she isn't the kind of person who will sit back forever to be walked all over. She makes it clear she refuses to be pushed. She will not back down on this. So Jen thinks the communication is unclear, and she says it feels like everyone is just playing their own game. Jen points out that she thinks Mary shouldn't fully trust what everyone says. But she also says in this instance, it really feels like the only one who has been helpful to her, the only one who has given her useful, helpful information has been Janelle. And Mary agrees with that 100%. Maybe Mary owes Janelle an apology for tattletelling on her to Robin and Cody when all Janelle wanted to do was look out for Mary's best interests. So over on Coyote Pass, Cody is meeting his realtor because the family isn't going to live there now. Cody says he knows Janelle won't live out there, and he told Robin he can't stand the idea of living there. He says Robin was the last one to give up on the dream. So now, finally, she consents to sell. In my opinion, Robin never had any intention of moving out of that goblin's lair, ever. So Cody thinks Janelle and Mary want to sell. Janelle and Mary are owners just as much as Cody and Robin are. They all paid an equal amount. It's Cody's responsibility to invite these women as his business partners to meet with the realtor as well and to be involved in every step of the way. They are equal owners, really, regardless of what configuration is on the deeds for the parcels. They each put in 1/4 of the money. They should all be involved in every step. It seems to me like Cody is ignoring Mary and Janelle and doing everything himself, ignoring their concerns, trying to dictate how this will go. Because Cody is an opportunistic fuckface. Cody meeting with this realtor alone without consulting with Mary and Janelle is very fucked up. And it really shows how little he respects them, and it also shows how willing he is to be sly and underhanded. They have a right to be involved in every step of this, including deciding what realtor they go to. So without consulting Mary and Janelle, Cody has chosen a realtor and they're walking the property, and this guy looks like a total tool in his beige. He looks like a tool just like Kotex. The realtor seems like he's high. He kind of comments on Cody's frizzy hair and his crazy energy. You know what? I think Cody's vibes might be a little too unstable for this guy. The realtor doesn't give a fuck, but Cody tells the guy his life story, all about the divorce, I'm surprised he didn't delve into his trauma of losing his virginity to a college girl way back when, and of course the divorce of Sonny and Cher when he was 5 and the trauma that caused him. I'm sure this realtor dude would really care about that too. So Cody has a lot of equipment to move off of the property. There's a trailer, and Cody points out that that trailer was there for hauling water when Janelle lived in the fifth wheel on the land. Cody goes into telling the realtor all the details of that story, what the trailer was used for. This guy doesn't give a fuck. He's there to look at the property, list it, and sell it, period. He's there for the money. He doesn't care that the trailer was there for Cody's ex-wife's water. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care about Cody's divorce. He did notice Cody's frizzy hair, so there's that. You know what? Cody seems like an old man with dementia telling his past stories to any youngin who'll pretend to listen to him. He advises this guy that a wife living in an RV is never a good idea. Does this guy in his beige golf outfit with his little sun visor look like the kind of guy that has a wife living in an RV? There is absolutely nothing wrong with living in an RV. Nothing wrong at all. But this guy, you could just tell he's not living in an RV. His wife isn't living in an RV. Mr. Beige is not the type. So Cody warns it's just not a good idea. It's not a good idea to have a wife and to have her live in an RV. He warns him, don't ever try it. You know what? Why would anyone want advice from a man who had 3 wives leave him, who can't even sustain normal, healthy father-child relationships with most of his kids? Why is Cody giving advice on anything? I guarantee you the guy's not qualified. This realtor is looking at Cody like he's nuts. Like, who is this old, crotchety curmudgeon with the ramen hair and the receding hairline, blathering on in resentment about his ex, talking about his divorce, waxing poetic about his family that he burned to the ground? This guy is looking at Cody like the nut job that he is. So next, Cody also bitches about Janelle's dogs being in the RV. Wow. Rent-free, baby. Rent-free. By this point, Cody hasn't seen Janelle's dogs in maybe 3 years, and he's still bitching about it. Shut up. Cody explains that he is a failed businessman, and the guy giving advice to this realtor, unsolicited advice, is not only a failure as a father and a husband times 3, but also we learned all the other equipment. There's various heavy equipment on the property. All of it is from various failed businesses, and Cody just put all the junk on the land. What a failure, and also what a waste of money. So the realtor needs to know, when can he move all of this equipment from his failed businesses? All he wants to know is when it's going to be done and when he can list the property, when he can show the property. He doesn't care what's for what. Oh, this trailer was for my ex-wife's drinking water and the dogs and this and that, and this is bad for marriage and this and that. And now we're learning there's a bunch of shit on the property, a bunch of equipment from Cody's failed businesses. The realtor doesn't need the life story. He doesn't need to know what every piece of equipment was for. All he wants to know is, when the fuck can you get this off the property? When can I list it? Blah, blah, blah. He really doesn't give a fuck about Cody's life story, about none of it. But Cody is just so unaware that he really thinks that the world cares about this. Cody says he has mixed feelings about selling this property. In this moment with his realtor, he considers keeping just one lot and maybe selling the rest. And then he realizes he's got to sell it all and get out of here. I thought he was moving to Europe. Last episode, he was moving to Europe. What happened to that? So Cody explains he has 2 other exes who are partners in the land. And of course, Robin, his wife. He hates to say it, but he explains to this guy, it isn't the most civil of relationships anymore. Listen, the realtor doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. He's not there for that. He doesn't care about the origin story. Cody wants the limelight. He thinks this realtor cares, and he seems really desperate to film some filler bullshit. Cody explains that having gone public as a family, they all talk to the public. And the realtor dude has a look on his face as Cody is rambling on, like, what the fuck is this frizzy haired, crazy dude telling me this for? Why is he telling me this? Why do I need to know this? All he's really there for is to do a job. He doesn't give a fuck about any of this. Cody says it all came back to him and he decided he wasn't talking to her ever again. And I'm assuming by her, he's meaning Janelle. He's being very vague. He's muttering. And he says there's a back and forth. And then he tells the realtor guy, oh, I'm just as guilty as all of them. He's muttering under his breath, doing fragmented sentences, talking about his relationship. The realtor doesn't care. The realtor isn't Cody's therapist. He doesn't care who's guilty, who's not guilty, what the dynamics are, why this one used the trailer for water, why this one left, what's going on with it. He doesn't give a fuck. He's there to sell the land. The realtor isn't Cody's therapist. He isn't here to hear about what happened, why it happened, Cody's relationship issues. None of it. Who's to blame? He is just there to sell the land. He's not here for Cody. He's not here for the life story. He doesn't give a fuck. No one does. Does Cody think because he's on a TLC reality show that people should care? I don't. I don't care. And the realtor doesn't care. No one does. No one does. Cody's ex-wives have already moved on. Cody is now free from the obstacles to his goals in life. So why is he the only one miserable? And why is he the one constantly talking about it, talking about the past? Maybe it's just time for Cody to shut the fuck up. So Cody tells the realtor when he gets an offer, then he'll just email the women and get their permission as his partners to sell or accept the offer, whatever. So Cody's trying to decide what he wants to do. Janelle wants Cody to buy her out, but Cody says he doesn't have the cash. How much did Cody spend on all of that equipment he has rusting out, just sitting on the land from all of his failed business ventures? You see how stupid this guy is? He doesn't have the mind for business. He never has. Maybe if Cody stopped spinning his wheels with bullshit, he'd actually have the money. You know, he can buy fine art and ATVs and equipment for all these failed businesses, but he can't afford to buy his exes out of the land, really? I think Cody wants to frustrate Janelle and Mary and get under their skin as one last parting gift. I think he'll do all he can to stretch this out and to complicate it and to make it as difficult and stressful as possible in the hopes that Mary and Janelle just throw their hands up and acquiesce to whatever he wants, whatever benefits him the most, just so they will be done with him because he's making it so hard. Cody's a dick, and these women lawyering up will be the best choice they ever made, second to leaving him in the first place. Personally, I think all that bleach and dye is soaking into his brain. You can see the man deteriorate mentally before your eyes season after season. If it wasn't so pathetic, it really might actually be sad. Cody doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what the next step is. But he says he has 2 ex-wives making demands, nagging him, wondering what they're doing. When is this going to be resolved? He says his 2 ex-wives, who were total nags before leaving him, are still nagging, even after they've left him. You know, maybe Cody should just change his tampon, take a Midol, and pull up his big boy panties. A man would handle it, take the emotions out, respect these women as the mothers of his children, consult with them on a realtor they all agree on, and give everyone an equal fourth when it's done, involving them in every step of the way. End of. Cody acts like a pussy. He ignores their texts. He leaves them frustrated. He disrespects the fuck out of them. He consults his own realtor before consulting them. And he leaves them on pins and needles wondering when will this get done. If Cody was a man, if Cody was a leader, none of his emotions would spill into this and he would be fair and handle this as a business deal. Everyone invested equally. Everyone gets equal, period. It's not that complicated, but we see Cody intentionally dragging this out, twisting shit, praying to God he can pull the wool over these women's eyes. Cody's a coward, and every episode it shows. Now, Mary feels since Cody decided he was already out of the relationship, and since he claims he never loved her anyway, she thinks any communication at all from her he would consider a nag. So there are 14.1 acres of land with 4 parcels, and Cody reiterates to the realtor about how this was supposed to be for his whole family. It was supposed to be a dream. It was supposed to be a special place, and that dream has died, sadly. Cody laments, and now he thinks everyone just wants to cut and run since the dream died. Cody feels, maybe if it took a long time to sell, if he hit the jackpot, he might keep a lot of the land. He might buy out his partners. But Cody doesn't envision striking it rich anytime soon. Of course not. He's a failed businessman. Now, Cody really doesn't think that he would get over all that happened. This place, all it symbolizes is heartbreak for Cody. And Cody would have to get over that first to want to live there. So Mrs. Potato Head now has to be consulted, of course. She has to be relevant. And she fakes sadness in her voice. She wants us to know she is in despair. She is grieving this family as she defeatedly tells viewers that this place is the last thing that connects some of them. And she thinks that's a reason why it's just so hard for her to let it go. And it irritates Robin to no end that the last couple of years changed the last 30 years. The last couple of years changed the last 30 years? I don't think so. Robin is delusional if she thinks the last couple of years changed the last 30 years. She is totally disrespectful, and she's completely invalidating of what her sister wives feel and what they experienced with Cody over the decades, just so she can assure herself that she isn't part of the reason this family disintegrated. Things really started to magnify when Robin came into this family. Things changed big time when Robin came into this family, when Cody prioritized his favorite wife and her kids to the neglect and detriment of everyone else in the family. Things changed when Robin married Cody, and when Robin focused on Cody and their romantic relationship, prioritizing Cody and their relationship over the larger family years ago, decade ago, maybe more. It's not because of COVID. It's not just the last couple of years. That's absolutely ridiculous and completely invalidating and disrespectful to her sister wives. Robin really never seems to know when to shut the fuck up. Never. Robin is never going to convince anyone with even a shred of intelligence that she was ever all about the family. She never was. It's bullshit. And I find it interesting how recently Christine and Janelle recalled how even from the start, while she was courting Cody, she would have stories of, a first wife divorced her plural husband so the second wife could marry him and adopt the kids, and telling these stories and trying to plant those seeds. Because Robin is a manipulative witch, and she knew what she wanted from day one. She didn't give a fuck about the family. She gave a fuck about herself and financially securing her kids and finding her kids someone they could call a father, because God knows how she alienated her first husband. Robin mentions how once upon a time, trust and love and connection and a future, there was all of that once upon a time in the family. And she feels it's crazy how everything just blew up. Is it crazy, or did Cody pick a favorite wife and her kids from the second he met Robin? And did Cody invest fully in them at that point while giving crumbs in every other marriage and branch of the family? So I don't know. Is it everything just blew up, or is she part of the issue and the favoritism a huge part of the issue? And Cody's investment levels that drastically differ with one wife and her kids versus the other wives and their kids part of the issue. Nothing just blew up, and nothing was just about COVID or the last few years. That's absolutely ridiculous and disrespectful and invalidating to the family, in my opinion. And it also really insults the viewer's intelligence as well. So the realtor is going to assess the lot lines and the value of the property. In my opinion, Janelle and Mary should be included in this. They should be consulted in every step of the way. So at this point, Janelle has exciting news. At first, she tells viewers that she needs to tell Cody and Christine about it. And then she realizes that old habits die hard and she doesn't have to tell Cody jack shit. She just has to tell Christine. So Janelle reveals that she put an offer in with Maddie on a 165-acre property in North Carolina, and it was accepted. Everyone is all smiles, and Janelle has really wanted a home for so long. For years, she has wanted this. And finally, she's going to get a home and land and everything she wants. And it's probably going to be 1,000,000 times better than building a shitty casita that she was planning to build on Coyote Pass. So I would say good for Janelle. I'm happy for her. So Janelle and Maddie are going to have a flower farm. She wants perfect zen after all of the craziness. I love it. Janelle's going to become a little blissed out hippie. I love it. I wonder if she's going to be growing some cannabis flowers, some beautiful kush, maybe something Afghani. But my guess is she's probably talking actual flowers. So Janelle's going to be growing flowers, and they might have cabins for people to stay in or even a retreat space. And Janelle and Maddie have a ton of ideas. Janelle is glowing. She looks happier than we've ever seen her. She's talking about her new business venture and project, and you can tell her heart is in this. She's excited and she's passionate. Janelle loves working. She's ambitious. She has a very strong work ethic. She likes putting blood, sweat, and tears into something. That motivates her more, just like she's done with her weight loss journey. And so I think Janelle is going to be very successful in this. When she's working, she is alive and she's happy. She enjoys it. So I think this is perfect for her. And I love the fact that she'll be a flower farmer. I do think it's too bad that she isn't growing any cannabis. Maybe she should. I love me some cannabis. Cannabis. Definitely. So Christina's always looking on the bright side, and she points out that this 165 acres is a lot more than the 4 acres she would have gotten on Coyote Pass. So Cody is like the plague. Of course, he's low energy, he's negative, he's toxic, radioactive, and he brings people down. You notice that once the women free themselves of his toxicity, big things happen in their lives. Positive things, wonderful things, magical things, because Kotex and his energy was weighing these women down. Cody was holding them back from their full potential with all of his negative juju. I am so happy to see where these women go and what they choose to do with their lives, and with all of this positive energy, free of doom and gloom. So Janelle's original plan was to have greenhouses on Coyote Pass. But this is going to be so much better. Janelle is leveling up in the world. Fuck Coyote Pass. Fuck the greenhouses. Janelle's going to get 165 acres with flowers as far out as the eye can see. See, Janelle's winning at life. Cody and Robin are losing. They're going to lose for the rest of their lives because karma don't play. You see how these women are elevating when they free themselves of toxicity? Christine is very happy for Janelle because all of Janelle's dreams are coming true with this. Janelle always wanted to make this happen, and Cody always pissed on Janelle's parade. And now it's happening on a grander scale than Janelle ever imagined. Christine is so happy for Janelle. She knows it was always Janelle's dream. She always wanted land. And Janelle reflects that when they first moved to Flagstaff, she thought they would move onto the land. Then stuff started happening, and Cody was never on board with the vision. Janelle says once Cody got a comfortable house with Robin, and let's point out, a comfortable house she and Mary paid for largely, he didn't care anymore. So Janelle is so glad that Coyote Pass never came to fruition. She's happy it never happened. Suck on that, goblin. And now she has 165 acres full of flowers. So Janelle has a vision of land and flowers and people visiting. She is very excited for the future. So back to Parowan, Jen and Mary are still discussing the land, and the very real potential that Cody will try and shaft Mary big time. So Jen mentions how Mary messaged everybody about resolving the land and she wanted it done by this day. And Mary says it had been 3 or 4 weeks and she gave a date of a week and a half, just a timeline where they could start a convo about moving forward. Janelle responded Janelle was down to settle things. And Cody's response was that he was talking to all the right people. Like dismissive, like don't worry about this, I'm talking to all the right people. Who the fuck are the right people? I would be concerned. I mean, if Cody thinks certain people are the right people, they're probably wrong. So I want to know, why were Mary and Janelle not involved in all of these talks? They should have even been involved in picking the realtor they were going to use. If Cody really plans on being fair and doing what's right, and if Cody is really a professional, would he not be able to separate out the emotions of these being his ex-wives and all the divorce and all this bullshit and just treat them fairly as the business partners they are, since they all invested equally in this land? If Cody cut out his business partners and he did this on his own and they were business partners who weren't his ex-wives, there would be lawyers involved. There would be lawsuits galore involved by this point if Cody just took things into his own hands in a typical business deal. So why Cody thinks he can not only ignore these women, but cut out Mary and Janelle with all the steps and just do what he wants, that just shows his character and how little he respects the mothers of his kids. And why he thinks it's okay is unbelievable to me, because if these were his business partners and he did this type of behavior of doing things on his own without involving them in every step, there would be lawsuits galore for his ass. He thinks he can get away with this because it's Mary and Janelle, so he's going to have another thing coming when he has to deal with their lawyer. He has very low character and he thinks he can pull one over on these women because they're the mothers of his children, and he puts his negative emotions towards them and allows it to affect this business deal. Cody's not the businessman or the leader he thinks he is. So Mary let Cody know that she was the right people, that she could help. And Janelle, of course, was the right people, obviously. As his business partners, they're the right people. Cody should be discussing everything with them, and they should all be together talking to the right people together, the right people that they decide on together. Mary doesn't know who Cody is talking to or what his plan is. She doesn't know if Cody is trying to sell the land already, despite trying many times to find out what's going on. She has no idea what's happening. Cody doesn't say shit. Cody, of course, has excuses for everything. He says he was really nice in that email. He was just trying to calm everybody down. The only time Cody is ever nice is probably to Robin while she's sucking his micro penis. Then maybe he's in a decent mood for a little while. For Cody to act like he's this calm person just grounding everyone and, oh, he was so nice, that's a fucking joke. This guy can't control his emotions for shit. He can't control his state of mind. He has zero self-awareness. And now he wants to act like, oh, he was a nice guy in the email. Oh, when he was ignoring his business partners, he has been ignoring them for almost a year. And these are the mothers of his children. He's been ignoring them for months, burying his head in the sand, ignoring it, hoping it'll go away in typical Cody fashion, like the toddler and the coward he is. This is their financial security. This is their future. This is what the mothers of his children will one day leave their kids. And Cody thinks it's a joke to fuck around with. This, oh, I was so nice in that email. Oh, I was so calming. He's acting like he's fucking Goldilocks and Janelle and Mary are two of the three bears, just because they want to know what's up with this business of selling Coyote Pass like mature adults and business-minded people. They want to get done. Cody wants to drag his feet like fucking Goldilocks. So Cody says he was just trying to calm everybody down because he doesn't know what to do here. He doesn't know what to do here? Get your head out of your ass, call a fucking realtor, sell the land, divide the parcels up properly, get it fucking done. What the fuck? It doesn't take a genius. If you can't handle that, buy them out and get it done. Just let them be free. Let them be free. That's interesting. Cody wants to be the leader. Cody wants to be the patriarch, but he doesn't know what to do here. He doesn't know what to do. I thought Cody said he was a businessman. He said before on the show that he was an entrepreneur. You're telling me that this guy can't treat this as a business deal, take out his emotions, talk to the mother of his children as equal investors, and decide what to do and who to consult together and involve everyone in every step of the way so everyone gets their fair share ultimately. He can't do that. Is it that he doesn't know what to do, or he's too lazy to do it, or it would be too much of an inconvenience for him to do it? Cody thinks he can put this off and ignore and evade a million ways to Sunday until the women just get tired, throw their hands up, and just say, whatever, Cody, just do what you want and give us whatever money and just end it. Just end it. Just settle it. That's what Cody's hoping for. But that's never going to happen. Mary and Janelle have legal representation, and as business partners with Kotex, they aren't going to let Cody fuck about and count on a hope and a prayer, wishing that Cody just does what's right for the first time in his life. So Cody insists he isn't trying to stall, but his ex-wives are asking him to do a favor. And poor pussy Cody says, oh, he's tired. It's not a favor. This is business. He's not doing them a favor by resolving this. He's being an adult, taking care of his responsibilities. And now he's bitching that he's tired. What a fucking pussy. How tired does Cody think his ex-wives and kids are of him and his toxic bullshit? No one cares how tired you are, bitch. Man the fuck up. Stop making excuses. Stop bitching. Be a fucking man. Stop being pathetic. Next, Cody whines that he's tired some more, and he says he has a lot to do. Janelle doesn't know what's going on with Cody, but she knows he could be talking to someone about selling the land, or he could be trying to sell the land out from underneath them. Janelle doesn't know. See, these women ultimately, after decades, they know Cody. They know how low intelligence he is. They know how greedy he is, how opportunistic he is, how selfish and egotistical he is, how resentful he is. And I think Cody thinks he can bulldoze them if he takes it and makes it go for as long as possible. I don't think he expects these women to stand up. Janelle complains that Cody isn't communicating at all. And Mary says Cody's whole big thing was that she would get 2 acres of the land, even though, of course, she paid her equal fourth. So Jen refuses. But Cody told Mary she doesn't need as much because she doesn't have as many kids. What a fucking asshole. So Jen explains to Mary that she paid equally. She paid equally, the same as the rest of them, and she deserves the same. So Mary remembers when the family funds were all together, and she says those family funds she helped with, they went to all the kids' colleges, they went to the properties, they went to everything. They had a family fund, everyone put their money there. And Jen points out that the money paid out for the majority of the kids' colleges, but not Leo's. Mary paid for Leo's college, and it also went to the majority of the kids' cars, but also not Leo's. So as far as the college thing goes, Leo went to a school that was very expensive. It was out of state, private tuition. So from my understanding, Cody did pay for part of it, the same amount that the other kids got, but the extra, since all the kids had in-state tuition, Leo's school was like 4 or 5 times that, if not more. It was an exorbitant amount. So after she got the amount that the other kids got, then Mary had to pay the difference. And I think that that's fair in that situation. Mary had to cover the extra. That's what was presented on the show, at least. So Mary also says she paid for Leo's car payments. She paid into the family account for all of the kids to have their college paid for, but not her kid. She paid into the family account for all the kids' cars, but not her kid's car. I believe Cody did get Leo a car on the show. I may be mistaken, but I believe he did get them a car. So Mary doesn't know how much of the family fund actually paid for the other kids' schools or cars, but she knows her kid's school wasn't taken care of from the family fund. So Mary says Cody said because she only has one child, she isn't entitled to an equal portion of the property. As far as Cody telling Mary because she only has one kid, she isn't entitled to an equal portion of the land, that's fucked up and that doesn't fly. Mary paid an equal fourth like everyone else, and she deserves an equal portion of the land or the money back from the sale of that land, period. End of. Whether she had no kids, 2 kids, or 20 kids is completely irrelevant. Cody did a business deal with these women, and he needs to cut the fuck shit, remove all the bullshit and fuckery, and treat this as a business deal with equals he respects as business partners. Of course, Cody has excuses for days for why he's trying to con the mothers of his children, especially Mary, out of their fair share. He says they have 18 kids, and then he stops himself and he says it's all water under the bridge. He doesn't want to discuss it. In my opinion, Cody doesn't want to antagonize Mary because now that she is gone, she can open her mouth and use her voice to tell what a douche canoe Goldilocks is and to tell how bad he was even off camera with all of them. He also knows if he goes there and he opens his mouth, there is no way to justify him trying to financially shaft a mother of his child who is an equal investor in this land. And he knows, in my opinion, that he'll just end up putting his foot in his mouth as usual. So he zips it, thankfully. Resentful Cody says Mary can be the one to do all of the complaining about whatever happened that she wants to. And Cody points out that Mary still got her wet bar. Mary is amused by this, and she says it's a stupid wet bar. She wonders what was wrong with her having the wet bar in her house if she wanted one. I've already gone into that. I'm not talking about that godforsaken wet bar again, but in some respects, I do think it was selfish of Mary to get the wet bar when considering that she also had to get the pantry and the extra room, knowing her sister wives had to have their kids share bedrooms, and Mary really didn't need all that extra space. It was a little selfish. It was insensitive of Mary. I do agree that she deserves the same financially as her sister wives, regardless of the number of children. And she should never be penalized financially or otherwise. She should get the same as her sister wives, regardless of the number of children she has. Just because she only has one child, she deserves the same. It doesn't mean she should get less. But in a family where there are so many children, when the family is strapped financially with very finite resources, and the other wives are having to have their kids share rooms, Mary really didn't need all of that extra space that came with the plan, that came with the wet bar. And if she was really selfless and she was really all about the family, that also could have gone to her sister wives so that some of the children didn't have to share rooms. Mary could have made that sacrifice for Janelle or Christine, and instead Mary got the wet bar. And I do think it was a little selfish. Was it fair that she gets the same amount of money? Yes. Was it a little selfish and tacky of Mary? Yes. So Mary says she wanted the wet bar, and she's the one who made the payments on the house anyways. Fair point. But I want to know, how many times did she actually really use that wet bar in Vegas? Was it really that important to also get the extra bedroom in the pantry to be able to get that wet bar? I thought the whole thing was ridiculous, honestly. Should she get the wet bar if she wants it? Sure. Was it selfish? Yes. Could she have helped out her sister wives so that some of the kids in the family had their own bedrooms instead of having to double up and share rooms? Yes, I think that would have been much better use than Mary getting her wet bar just so she can feel good about herself. So Jen wants Mary to call the attorney and fill him in. And Jen feels that Mary has been so forgiving and so kind. Mary doesn't want to cause a problem. She doesn't want to make waves, but Jen does, of course. So Mary has felt that all these years. She didn't want to make waves. And Jen adds that Mary wanted to be sweet. Of course, what Jen is referring to is keeping sweet. And in FLDS communities, in their faith, women are taught, they are indoctrinated from a young age to always be sweet, to always be pleasing, to always be kind, to always be easy, no matter how they feel inside. And Mary grew up in a plural family, attending that church. She was indoctrinated with a lot of this bullshit, and I think it can be a huge mindfuck. So Mary, I believe, was very programmed by her faith, by the culture. And I think Cody also groomed Mary. I think he was very manipulative of Mary. And I think he knew Mary was bound to her faith. He knew she was indoctrinated in the culture. He knew that he could also manipulate her into pleasing him. We see the effects of Cody's control and mind games, even as recently as when Mary visited Cody and Robin to drop off the check for the land. Mary blabbed right away to Cody about Janelle's visit and Janelle's warning. And I believe part of her disappointing behavior in tattling on Janelle had to do with years and years of Cody's mental and emotional conditioning that he did on these women. They seemed to be hostage to his moods and emotions and demands and control and bullshit, and they seemed to have to constantly walk on eggshells. I'm sure it was exhausting. So Jen adds that Mary was raised in a patriarchal way with the man being in charge. And Mary says Cody didn't act like that. He wasn't like that when she married him. And Jen thinks the women allowed Cody to be that way, that Cody would manage and take care of things. Manage and take care of things or control. So Mary says she wanted that. She wanted a man that would take care of things, who would also take care of her. But Cody, she insists, didn't act like that. So I guess when Cody demanded a patriarchy, that was all just talk because he was angry, right? Like Cody makes the excuse. So Mary says she invested a lot into this marriage, emotionally, financially, personally, and she didn't get anything out of it as far as alimony or anything like that. She doesn't want that, but she thinks it's fair for the property investment that she walks away with that equal share at least. Of course, I'm sure the world agrees with her. Janelle has hired a lawyer. She has retained him for Coyote Pass, and she's going to go for separation of assets. But right now, nothing is happening. She has asked Cody about it. She has suggested selling the land, but Cody is evasive, and he responds with, I don't know, or he tells Janelle she should talk to Mary about things. And Janelle says Cody is always putting her off. Janelle wants to get the land sold and divided, and it's crickets from Cody. Cody has excuses. He directs Janelle to call Mary. He ignores Janelle. He ignores Mary. So Maddie wonders why Janelle even needs to call Mary to deal with the property. Now, in my opinion, that's because Cody wants to make it difficult and inconvenient and as complicated and stressful and as frustrating as possible. So in the end, the women are so done that they capitulate to whatever he wants. Cody is a manipulative, emotionally abusive, toxic dick face, and I believe he thinks he could break them down. Now, Janelle says Cody wanted her to find out if Mary is on board with selling. So Janelle is going to have her lawyer handle it. A lawyer who is not emotionally involved, who will go in and propose things neutrally. Janelle is concerned because with the way things are titled right now, Mary would only get compensated for 1.5 acres of the entire 14 acres when Mary paid an equal fourth, and that wouldn't be fair. So Janelle points out that this whole conversation really hinges on Cody, since he is the one on all of the titles and he is the one who has to make the changes in ownership. So Janelle wonders if Cody's going to show up and divide things fairly, and she wonders what they're doing because Cody is wishy-washy. He says something, then he ignores them for forever, and she has no reassurance that Cody's going to be kind. Again, this shows Cody's character. These women have known Cody for decades. They have kids with him. They gave him decades of their lives. They sacrificed. They put in daily blood, sweat, and tears for this coward, for the larger family. And they do not trust Cody to do the right thing. That shows exactly what a wishy-washy, used car salesman son of a bitch this guy is. Now, next, Christine announces that she and David put an offer on a house in Moab, and they're going to rent it out as a short-term rental. Christine always wanted a side business since nothing lasts forever, and she knows that you need several streams of income with a big family in order to be able to retire on something, and also in order to pay for your kids to go to college. So Janelle says in some of the more orthodox cults, like the FLDS, she feels it's very much that the women do not have autonomy over their money. And she explains that if you aren't independent and if you aren't financially independent, if you don't have a way to support yourself, then you will be in a bad way because you won't have choices. So Janelle is an advocate for everyone having a way to support themselves. And I agree completely. In any relationship, you should never, ever, even if you're happily married, rely on another person to financially support you, your life, and your whole existence. If you rely financially on another person and you don't independently still provide for yourself and you decide you're done and you don't maintain an individual income and a way of always supporting yourself financially, then you aren't really free and you aren't free to leave. Then you're stuck. And that's not a situation I would ever be willing to put myself in as a woman. I would value my freedom and the opportunity to easily choose to be free at any time, rather than to allow any man to keep me or provide for me to the point where I am not providing for myself. Even if someone was completely paying for everything in my life, I would still provide for myself and work and have a way to provide for myself because I would not want to be trapped in any relationship, regardless of how much I love a person, how good it is. Hell no, I would never want to be trapped. You always have to have your financial independence. It's cool to let your partner provide for you, but it's also important to always still be able to provide for yourself so that if you want to leave, you aren't stuck. I completely agree with Janelle. Janelle thinks that women should have choices. They should have autonomy, and she's right, of course. So Christine says in her previous life with everybody, there wasn't always enough family money to do everything that you wanted to do. There were a lot of different family businesses that people wanted to do, and you had to do pros and cons, and then you had to sell your idea to everyone on everything that was done, and everything was done by committee, and it would take so much time to accomplish anything. So with David, he just gets things done quickly. So Christine and Janelle have always wanted to be land and property owners. So now Janelle has her 165 acres with Maddie, and Christine has her vacation property in Moab with David. And Janelle and Maddie and David and Christine, they're all talking on a call. And Janelle tells David that he is way more fun than Cody. I love it. Eat your heart out, Cody. Did you hear that? Janelle thinks David is way more fun than you. David is way more fun, and he's also a hell of a lot more confident than Cody. He's comfortable in his skin. He's comfortable going bald. He's comfortable shaving his head. He's confident in himself. And confidence is way more attractive than a man that holds on to his hair for dear life, where the front is just completely bald patches, and there's just a hairline that just starts in the middle of his head with all of that over-processed, bleached frizz. It literally looks like decaying ramen noodles on his head. Now, David wins in the man department, and he definitely has a better personality. And to boot, he's emotionally stable as well. He's a prize. Compared to Kotex, most men are prizes, but I mean, David really seems like a stand-up guy so far. So, back in Flagstaff, Cody is still talking to the realtor about how they bought the land together, and he says he paid for one lot alone himself, but the agreement is for the family. And he says when they sell, he's going to divide the money. Listen, everybody paid the same. Everybody deserves the same. Split equally. It's that simple. Now, Cody says he plans to split everything 4 ways, but he thinks his exes are worried about whether he'll be fair or not because divorce takes away all the trust. Or Cody is a con man and a sleaze bucket. Now, Cody says he'll be fair. Sure. Now, Janelle says it's been several months since the land was paid off. She doesn't know what's going on. Cody's ignoring her. And there was an email from Cody to Janelle and Mary telling them that he and Robin were talking to the right people. And Mary and Janelle wondered, who the fuck are these right people? They wonder who these right people are that Cody has been talking to. And at that point, Janelle was sure she needed a lawyer because something was fishy. Something is rotten in Denmark. Now, Cody projects and he says Janelle thinks about screwing him over all the time. He's angry. He looks like a psycho when he's saying this. So my guess is, other than resolving the land issue, Janelle doesn't think about Cody at all. But I'll guess that she probably lives rent-free in Cody's mind 24/7. Cody even admitted before that he considered screwing Janelle and Mary over, but he said he wouldn't do that because of Robin. And probably, in my opinion, because legally, frankly, if you screw over business partners and there are documents, these aren't just spiritual wives you can fuck with and manipulate till the cows come home. These are business partners with legal documentation, and you are legally liable to be fair and proper with them. So if Cody screws his business partners, he will legally and financially feel the consequences. There will be consequences for that. So Cody can't screw them. If Cody could get away with screwing these women, he would. And he's trying to make it take as long as possible. He's trying to push these women to capitulate, but legally and financially, he's not going to get away with this. Already, we know Cody wanted to screw Mary for sure. When Mary dropped the check off to pay for her portion of the land, Cody was trying to convince Mary that she deserved a 2-acre piece of land. And we know her name was only on one deed with 2 other people when she paid an equal fourth, the same as the rest of the investors. So Cody would screw these women financially if he could, just as sure as Robin would gladly throw Cody under the bus and take his coins if she found a better option at church. And Cody knows that sure as shit. He knows not to trust Robin, just like his ex-wives know not to trust him. Next, Cody projects some more. Again, he says, Janelle thinks about screwing him over all the time. And if Janelle could come after him with alimony, with child support, with anything, Cody says she'd do it. She thinks about how she can fuck him over. As Cody maniacally, eagerly rubs his grubby paws together, doing this evil witch's cackle that truly resembles what Robin looks like, to emulate what he thinks Janelle looks like, plotting to screw him out of his pennies. It's crazy. Cody looks like a nut job. So Cody tells the realtor all the exes are interested in is getting the money. Yes, they want to be done. So Mary doesn't know why they couldn't have just moved forward on this situation by now. And Cody says he's sorry, ladies, but they left him here holding the bag and he doesn't know what to do with it, and neither does Robin. Of course, that's bullshit. Janelle has talked to Cody about this for years. He ignores her. Mary and Janelle have made suggestions to Cody, like buying them out or selling the property, and Cody's ignoring them, blowing them off, fucking about with his hands in his pants instead of calling them and taking the next steps with everyone on the same page. Cody could have chosen to quit dicking around at any point to ask these women what they wanted to do, and they could have used common sense, mutually picked a realtor they were all comfortable with, sold the land and agreed to split the money 4 equal ways while creating 4 equally valued lots they could sell, and each could get an equal fourth. Cody's just ignoring it, playing dumb, playing clueless, in the hopes that the women will get so frustrated that they just bow down to him, and I think it's sick. Cody knows what to do. He just wants to make this as painful as possible, and he gets off on frustrating the women, on getting under their skin, instead of handling this like a man and dealing with the women with respect as his business partners while keeping everyone informed every step of the way moving forward. Cody would rather be a coward because that's his mentality. Mary has offered many times to help out, but every time she offers to help, she gets nothing back. So Cody tells the realtor Flagstaff was the beginning of the end for the family. No. The beginning of the end for the family was Cody and his personality and mental issues, and also Robin as well. The realtor doesn't give a fuck about the family. The realtor doesn't care about this. The realtor is just here to do his job and sell this land. But Cody wants to tell his life story, expecting people to care. He says for 30 years he was a polygamist. He wants the realtor to know that. How does this help this realtor dude sell this land? How does this pertain at all to selling the land? Why should the realtor give a fuck? Why should we give a fuck? Does this realtor moonlight as a shrink on the side? Cody should be embarrassed, blabbing to every Tom, Dick, and Harry about his life. Cody says he's a monogamist now, and it's a weird world. Robin needs to stuff it too, but of course, she has to show viewers how beat up emotionally she is over this family. All she does is repeat herself over and over and over like she has early onset dementia. No one wants to hear it. No one. She lets us know that when she first met the family, they all lived in one home, and her dream was to do that with them. In Vegas, they had a great culture in the cul-de-sac. She thinks they had a great culture. She might remember it that way, but Christine and Mary and Janelle felt otherwise. Back in Vegas, they already noticed that Cody was investing far more in Robin and her kids while neglecting them. He never stayed with Mary. He always preferred to be at Robin's. So the way Robin perceived Vegas and the way the ex-wives did is very different. Robin feels when they got to Flagstaff, everything fell apart. And she was frustrated. She says she watched it happen and she begged, stop. So Kotek shows the realtor the empty retention pond, and he says it was fun when it's full. He tells the realtor the story of the third time in his life he ever went skinny dipping with his family. Cody goes into all the details of that time when they all jumped into the drainage ditch. And this realtor dude is looking at Cody like, why the fuck do I have to hear this? Cody is very unprofessional, and the realtor is there for a job. He's not there to hear Cody wax poetic about his past memories with his family that he burned to the ground. How pathetic can a person be? Seriously. So Cody tells the story of Gabe jumping in and how all the kids jumped in, then he jumped in. Don't act like father of the year when you can't even have the decency as a man and a father to even take basic accountability with your kids, when as a father, you're the one who fucked up. But you put the responsibility on them to walk through the door. Cody sounds desperate. Cody sounds nuts. He says the move from Vegas was frustrating. It was hot. It was insane. And he says his natural nature is he can't decide. So he'll just wait longer if he can't decide, if he doesn't know what to do. But he says Janelle and Mary, they're waiting, and now they're getting grumpy. So Cody dismisses it. He says, you go do the paperwork, as if they can legally handle this without him. I think Cody's natural nature is to just ignore things that are too inconvenient for him, hoping they'll just disappear as if by magic. Cody, in my opinion, enjoys causing these women grief. He gets off on the fact that the ball is in his court and that they need him to do this and that he has to do something that they're begging him for. And he's deliberately being lazy and slow about it, in my opinion, because it's the last shred of control over them he'll ever have. That's how selfish and cruel and resentful Cody is. This is Mary and Janelle's financial well-being at stake, and Cody's playing with it, taking his time like a cat with a mouse, enjoying this because he's sick in the head, in my opinion. So Mary explains, of course, that legally she can't do anything because Cody's name is on all of the properties. Christine reflects on her past with Cody with finances. And she explains that with Cody with finances, it would also have to just be his way. It was his way. Otherwise, he would talk about it ad nauseum forever and ever and ever and ever and ever until you just got sick of it and you gave in to whatever he wanted. She'd wonder, why can't I just write my own freaking check? Why does Cody have to do this for me? So in my opinion, Cody probably enjoyed having financial control as another form of control over these women, as another thing to leverage and manipulate. Cody's toxic as fuck, and I'm glad Christine has someone like David who allows her own autonomy, who does things with her as her equal hand in hand. So David tells Christine she can do whatever she wants. So recently she went herself and she bought a home to rent, and she did it all herself. She did it alone, and David was very supportive of that. So Christine got the vacation home in Moab, and a bunch of the kids are there helping Christine and David load a moving truck to drive a bunch of furniture down. Christine is very excited, and she explains how in this move with David, it's not like a move like she had in her past. Nothing is contingent on uprooting their whole family and all of their kids to the next thing the way Cody would make them do. Christine says sometimes she didn't even know why they were even moving. Now, my guess would be Cody would get stir crazy and Robin wanted it. And Cody really seems to have a pattern of being unable to escape himself. And he seems to think moving will change and fix everything. I think Cody is a very unhappy person and he tries moving just to fix it. And he even suggests a move to Europe the last episode. But frankly, the issue is Cody. And Cody can move to the ends of the earth and he will still have the issue, which is him. He's the problem regardless of the setting or environment he moves himself to. So back in Parowan, Jen wants Mary to meet men. Mary wants to date. Mary's already been out on a few dates. And Mary feels like dating is hard. It's like going on a job interview. She wants a taller man, maybe a man who's older than her. Mary says she's 53. She wants someone at least her age, but she's okay with someone up to 60 or 65. Old saggy balls sound gross. No, thank you. Blech. So Cody has to add his 2 cents, of course. He says Mary wants an alpha male, but she also wants to be in charge, so he doesn't know how that's going to work for her. Robin is in charge of Cody, and Cody thinks he's the alpha male and the leader. How's it working out for him? Mary doesn't want a control freak. She wants someone who's going to support her in all of her endeavors. And Cody hopes that Mary is happy and that she finds happiness. Next, we really get to see what an angry, misogynistic man Cody really is. Cody says that Mary needs to ditch all of those mean girls and get a guy if she really wants love. He thinks the mean girls that are Mary's girlfriends are getting in the way, so he advises her to ditch them. Cody, the man who has Robin's head up his ass, controlling him like a puppet, who threw away actual loyalty and women who care for his well-being, is giving Mary love and relationship advice. Wow. And it gets worse next. I couldn't believe it, but Cody called all of Mary's friends bitches. I thought that was misogynistic as fuck. The reason Cody is calling Mary's support system her girlfriends who love and support her mean girls and bitches is he knows they know what a son of a bitch he is. And he knows they have negative opinions of him, and rightfully so, based on his toxic behavior and cruelty and emotional abusive treatment of Mary for decades. So for Cody's ego to be able to square with it, he has to call these women mean girls, he has to call them bitches, because Cody can't accept himself and the shitbag he is. Cody can't accept himself as he is, so when people tell him about himself, he has to be nasty to them. He refuses to accept his mistakes. He refuses to accept his toxicity. So anyone who sees Cody negatively is mean or cruel or a bitch or shit-talking, when all they're really doing is observing Cody's toxic behavior. Mary has a beautiful support system, and she should surround herself with her friends who seem to be really leading her on a positive path away from doom and gloom. Maybe Cody should worry about his own divine love before he advises Mary on her love life. Next, Cody says if Mary wants to find a man, she's gonna have to ditch those bitches. Does Cody calling these ladies bitches soothe Cody's dented ego? Cody seems really threatened by Mary and the women around her who know the truth about him. He can't acknowledge it. He can't take accountability. So Cody resorts to calling these women bitches because they see what a cuck pussy he acts like. Cody's a coward. He doesn't even act like a man. And he wants to call those women bitches? Are those women bitches, or is Cody a threatened, desperate, ballless coward? I don't know. Cody says a man ain't gonna put up with that. How does Cody know what a man would put up with? I don't consider Cody a man. Robin has his balls on her bedside table in a jar. In my opinion, there is no sane, rational, intelligent woman in the world who would ever put up with Cody. Even Robin is losing respect for him, and Cody knows it. Does Robin condone Cody as an adult man disrespecting women, calling them bitches, just because he doesn't like their opinion of him? Now, Mary says Jen has been the person who has been more loyal to her than anybody else has ever been. even more loyal than anyone in the family. She wants to keep the person who is going to be loyal. And Mary jokes that she is sure that Cody understands that. Oh, the irony. I love it. I love that. So Mary wants an outdoorsy guy who knows who he is, who is confident, who can handle her. She wants a guy who matches her energy, a go-getter with dreams and passions, somebody working towards something who doesn't just want to sit around and let life happen to them. She wants a nice guy, definitely not a polygamist. She's not going to be with a polygamist. She only is looking for monogamists. She wants to choose her drama and her happiness, and she chooses no polygamy. So back in Salt Lake, David is very excited to see the house in Moab. He hasn't seen it yet. Christine bought it on her own, and David trusts Christine to know what she's doing. But Christine is really nervous for David to see the house because she knows he's going to find all the flaws and all the mistakes. I just want to point out that for decades, Cody was in charge of everything, and Christine didn't really have financial autonomy. So for the first time in her life, she went on her own. She found a house herself. She bought it on her own, and David trusted her. David had no problem with her doing this on her own. And you can tell that it empowers Christine and it gives her confidence. David trusts Christine to make big decisions independently of him. He trusts her decision making. He trusts what she wants to do, and he backs her. But with Cody, everything was controlled. Everything was his way. And I think the more Christine gets to live like this, the more she accomplishes, the more autonomy and independence she has, the more decisions she makes that are big that she was never allowed to make before, the more confidence she will have in herself and the happier she'll be and the more she will grow. And I think having David trust her and believe in her and back her, it really grounds Christine and it gives her that confidence to be loved and to love someone, to be able to trust them and to know they trust you, where there is no control, there is no manipulation, where you aren't suffocated, where it is pure love. It can really give you the support you need to grow as a person in the right circumstances. And I think we are really seeing that with Christine and David here. And I think it's awesome so far. I can't imagine how good and how fulfilling buying this home felt for Christine. So we learned David has a drywall business. He's had a drywall business for 40 years, so he can fix anything. And Christine has a list of things for David to do. And of course, David doesn't mind. Peyton reflects that his mom has changed a lot since leaving his dad. He says it's not a change, it's just his mom being what she always wanted to be. He doesn't know if she always wanted to own a house in Moab, but he knows her thought process was, well, now I can, so now I'm going to. And Peyton compares his dad to David. Peyton says his dad likes to take the lead, he likes to take the next step, he likes to make the plan, he likes to follow the plan, he likes to stick to the plan, everything is his way basically. And Peyton says David is a phenomenal support. He's happy to take a step back and say he'll be here for the trust fall. And Christine is loving being the boss. She loves making the calls. She loves making things happen, being backed by David and doing things on her own. And I think with Cody, Christine really never got to be herself. She did everything to sacrifice for the family, to raise the kids, to please Cody. And I think it was suffocating. And for a long time, she probably had to put parts of herself down deep in a box, locked away, to be everything that Cody wanted. And nothing was ever enough. And with David, he loves her, he accepts her just as she is. And he appreciates her for that. David really allows Christine to be herself, all of herself. And he doesn't demand she be anything other than who she is. He loves her for who she is, and it really shows. So far, I like David. I think he's great for Christine. He's good for the family, and I am so happy to see Christine so light and so happy and so ambitious. She wants to do things she probably always wanted to do, but she was never allowed to do these things, and finally, she can do these things and she can breathe. Life with Cody must have just felt so exhausting, so suffocating, so closed off. This is like a breath of fresh air, like the whole world has opened up for her. And it's awesome to see that. So next we flash back to Robin's failed business of My Sister Wives Closet. Why are we going back decades to bullshit just to make Robin seem relevant? So Robin's failed business of My Sister Wives Closet wasted a ton of the family money. It was a huge financial drain on the family finances. It was a huge liability for the family. But Robin didn't give a fuck. She insisted everyone had to pursue her dream with her. Even though, frankly, it was a waste of money. It was total bullshit. From the designs to the price points to the branding, it was a total disaster from A to Z. But Robin wants to talk about it to feel relevant when most viewers would prefer a show without her obnoxious kids, or Cody. So Robin says, My Sister Wives Closet was her way of including everybody in something. She saw it as a great way to connect and build relationships. You know, to build relationships, people have to like you first. They have to like you enough to want a relationship with you. Robin isn't likable. Her personality sucks. She isn't very bright. She's very needy. She's very manipulative. She's emotionally manipulative. She's very emotional unstable. And she's also very toxic. She's toxic as fuck, along with all of that emotional instability that she has also passed on to her kids. So Robin wanted to work together. She wanted to build relationships. And she says she and Mary were on the same page while Cody, Christine, and Janelle were not. You know why they weren't on that page? Because her business plan sucked. Her jewelry looked like a 5-year-old designed it. It was cheap and tacky and way overpriced. On top of it with shitty branding to boot. Why would a woman as intelligent as Janelle waste her time on child's play? Cody says with My Sister Wives Closet, they couldn't get on the same page. He says it was just like show me the money, and he feels he wasn't supportive enough, and now he looks back and he's embarrassed about it. Cody's just saying that because Robin probably wants to blame her ex-sister wives for why her shitty business failed. And when it's her dream, it's her responsibility. If you have shit jewelry and a shit business that no one likes, that no one believes in, with shitty branding, that's overpriced, that makes zero money, why should anyone have invested their time just for her ego to be assuaged? If Robin was really passionate about her dream, if she really believed in her dream, she would have worked and worked and worked and made changes until things worked. You know, I recall after an expo, Christine and Janelle explaining the issues with the branding, with the price points compared to other jewelry in their market. And Robin made no changes. She ignored their points while bitching about how they weren't pitching in, blaming them when it's on her to make this work. And she's too dumb to make a business work. Just like her husband, who also has several failed businesses, as he mentioned earlier tonight. Cody says Robin was the head of My Sister Wives Closet, but they were all equal owners, but he feels plural marriage won't work if the husband isn't at the head of the family. You know what? The husband has to be capable of leading, though. Cody only seems capable of being led. He can't even manage his own emotions and mental well-being, but he thinks he's capable of being in charge of 4 wives and a tribe of children? I don't think so. Cody has shown how incompetent he is. He says the last thing you do is have wives sit there with another wife who's trying to be your boss. So then why did Cody allow Robin to lead him? And why did he allow her to interfere in all of his marriages? Cody allowed Robin to interfere and impose herself on everything. The individual marriages, his relationships with his children, everything. Robin tried to get her grubby paws in it and give excuses like, oh, I'm good at relationships. Oh, I give advice better than anybody. Oh, I speak Cody. I do this. I do that. Because she wanted to interfere. She wanted to try and manage things. She thought these people were stupid. They were born yesterday and they were going to allow her to take the lead. And Cody allowed it. Cody allowed it. He allowed there to be a head wife, a favorite wife. And then he and Robin got pissed when the other wives and kids wouldn't bow down and capitulate to this fuckery. Cody complains about not being the leader of his plural family, but he allowed Robin to lead him. Janelle explains that her most successful business she started, it was something she did on her own. It was an income source for her. And once in a while, Cody would tell her they were all a family. They all got here together. They should all share that income. And Janelle told him no. She put her foot down. It was something she did on her own. You see how Cody financially took advantage of the women, and he even tried to get Janelle to share her income from something she did on her own when she did that for decades. For decades, she was the primary breadwinner. For decades, she got zilch back and she sacrificed her paycheck. And this time she told Cody no, and he still tried to get his paws on that money. It's similar to how Mary and Janelle gave up a good portion of their Vegas home proceeds to secure Robin's house because they're all one family and they knew they probably are never going to see a cent back of that money. Cody is cool taking money from these women for himself and for Robin. But notice how when it's time for them to get their fair share, it becomes like pulling teeth. If Cody really loves his kids, maybe Cody should do the right thing by the mothers of his children for the sakes of his children. I love how he did all he could for himself and Robin under the guise of, oh, it's all for the family, it's all for the family. But Cody would be glad to screw the mothers of his kids. But now he's upset with himself that he wasn't more supportive of Goblin and the bullshit excuse for a business that she came up with. Cody says they put the money where they could, when they could, and they funded all of these things together. He says Janelle left and she took that business with her and she took the profits with her. Those are Janelle's for Janelle. They're not for the family. They're not for Cody. They're not for Robin. Janelle is not his ATM. Janelle is not their money tree. When is Cody getting Janelle and Mary back? Not only the money for the land, but also the money from their Vegas home proceeds that they put towards securing that witch her goblin's lair. Cody complains that he and Robin aren't getting any of that money from Janelle's business, but they helped fund it. Doubtful again. Where is the check for all the money that Janelle gave Cody and Robin for their house? Is Cody paying that back? I mean, is the check in the mail? Is it coming? Is it in the mail? Back in Flagstaff, Cody tells the realtor that people drive by the land all the time just looking to see what's for sale. And the realtor, of course, loves the property. He loves the view. And Cody feels this land, this space, his family, these are the rocks he just broke on. And he says, give me my money. Give me my money. I'm going to call a lawyer. And he's impersonating Mary and Janelle. And he assures us he isn't trying to be dumb here. He is just being dumb here. Like, he genuinely doesn't know what to do. Sure. Cody's a dickwad. Cody's a dimwit. And he's doing this intentionally, getting a rise out of the aggravation he causes Mary and Janelle over this. This is Cody's last shred of control. And in my opinion, he's loving it. Cody wonders what they should do with Coyote Pass. It was supposed to be their special place, their happy kingdom, their Shangri-La. And now it's all different. Mary feels if they can figure out this situation in a common, kind way, then awesome. But if it starts looking like it's not going that way, she will do what she needs to do. She isn't going to be walked over. Good for Mary. That's refreshing to hear. I can't wait till we hear more from the lawyer. I hope these lawyers make appearances on the show. I'm here for it. That does it for this episode. I'll be back next week with the next episode of Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 19, Behold, I Come Like a Thief. I'm sure that's referencing Cody, where Janelle and Mary join forces to finally get answers about Coyote Pass, but Cody is having doubts about letting it go. And Christine takes another step towards independence and buys the vacation rental in Moab. I look forward to seeing it. Thanks for listening, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.